If you're considering making the move to Sarasota, you probably are curious to know what other people who already are here or live here have to say about it, right? Well, in this video, I'm gonna be reading and reacting to Niche.com's reviews about Sarasota, Florida. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Niche.com, there's kind of a little section of reviews where you can go and rank Sarasota or whatever it is, any kind of area, and you can leave up to a 5-star or as low as a 1-star review. So I wanted to start with the 5 stars and kind of work my way down. So you'll want to stick around to the end to hear some 1-star reviews. Okay, so here's a good one left about 1 day ago. Really not much to say other than beautiful growing town that has some of the best beaches in the world. Small town feel with plenty of amenities for all ages. Now, I can agree with this. As a born and raised Sarasota local, I've seen so many people throughout so many age ranges and demographics who are thriving in Sarasota. It used to be said that, only old people and retirees can live in Sarasota, but that is changing so fast. I mean, majority of my clients today are younger families who are coming here to experience some of the top ranked school districts in Sarasota County. People are now comparing kind of Sarasota to St. Pete and Tampa as places to raise a family. But the beaches are all age ranges. All of these new communities are now building out these amenity centers that suit almost any age at any point of life, really. Pools and activity centers, yoga rooms, exercise rooms. There's really opportunities for anyone to get out into the community, not just within one singular age group anymore. Now, I have a feeling that almost every single one of these reviews is gonna have something to do with the beach, so bear with me on that. Sarasota County is beautiful. It's filled with nature and welcoming people. A great area to explore on your free time. I'd especially visit the beautiful Siesta Key. And I agree, I think so many people get caught up on Siesta Key Beach, but Sarasota is so much more than just Siesta Key. We've got Oscar Shear State Park, we've got Myakka State Park. There's so much culture around Sarasota too that's not just Siesta Key Beach. If you've ever experienced anything in downtown Sarasota or St. Armands or Siesta Key Village, there's so much more to Sarasota than just the beaches. We have so much wildlife and nature that you can explore here as well that really allow you to get out. Here's one from 6 months ago, 5 stars. We moved 3 years ago and immediately we found a place we will call home for a very long time. The people are outgoing, friendly, and just nice. The diversified culture and cleanliness is a bonus. The highlight of our experience, besides the beautiful beaches and the water views, is the phenomenal restaurant selection. The quality of the food is exceptional. Proximity to other towns on the West Coast is great. Now, this kind of hits on everything that I personally love about Sarasota, and a lot of my clients do as well. Like I mentioned, a lot of people are kind of cross-comparing Sarasota to Tampa or even Naples. But really, Sarasota is so centrally located to all of those points that if you had to pick one spot where you could get the best of everything, I think it would be Sarasota. You can drive to Tampa and St. Pete in 45 minutes. You can be down in Cape Coral or Fort Myers in 45 minutes. Naples is maybe an hour drive away. If you want to go to Boca Raton or Miami, you're about 3 hours across the state. Orlando's 2 hours away. I mean, it's so central, and compared to other towns that I've been to, like Fort Myers and St. Pete and Tampa, Sarasota really does not compare to them. It is smaller, it's slower paced, and it is kind of quieter and more clean. And yes, Sarasota is known to be a very, very foodie central town. So there's a lot of opportunities for really fine dining and cuisine experiences in Sarasota, especially in Gulf Gate and downtown Sarasota. Those are the two kind of hot spots for where you're gonna find a lot of the restaurants that people are gonna recommend. All right, let's do 2 more 5-star reviews and then we'll head down to the 4 stars. Moving from interior British Columbia and Canada, Sarasota was a big change, not only in the weather, but also the environment. The grass is always so green and they're never shy of gorgeous. It's amazing to see all the work done to keep the county looking so great. I love walking through my neighborhood and just thinking how lucky I am to live in such a beautiful place. The people here are also amazing. It is a very rare occasion if we don't have wonderful customer service, and everyone is so understanding. It is also a very laid-back lifestyle, which I love. It reminds me to never take things so seriously and remember the things that truly matter: family and friends, experiences, and a good work ethic. I love Sarasota so far, and it's definitely a place I can see myself living in later on in life. Now, luckily we've just gotten some rain, so there is a bit of truth to this 11-month-old review about Sarasota, but I'm gonna be honest with you, for the last 8 to 9 months, Sarasota has been in one of the biggest droughts that we've had essentially in my lifetime over the last 20 to 30 years. So we finally just broke that record with a really big rainy week this week.
Yeah, so tonight we had a very rare event, the kind of event we only see once every 500 to once every 1,000 years.
Wow.
In Sarasota County. We had 8 inches of rain that fell in 3 hours, and they set a new record for the amount of rain they had in 1 hour, which was 3.93 inches. We've never seen that before in Sarasota, so breaking records with the rainfall tonight.
And so you can really tell that everything is just sprung to life in my neighborhood and all around Sarasota. The grass just, with one rain, has just exploded with greenery. This berm behind me is now sprouting so many beautiful colors of purples and pinks and reds, and the greenery is just coming to life. And I would agree that Sarasota County does do a really, really good job with keeping a lot of the public spaces really, really well maintained and kept up. You know, from any of the amenities in downtown Sarasota, from the parks to like the local sports areas, and even just kind of public spaces and the areas around the sides of the roads are always so well maintained. Now, to this reviewer's point of happy people in Sarasota, there is truth to that, definitely. I feel like I've been seeing it a little bit less now more than ever before I can remember. I feel like Sarasota used to be that old, quiet, sleepy town where people were always just super happy, and it still is like that, but it's definitely becoming faster paced with more northerners moving down here and more people from larger cities who are, you know, hoping for that laid back lifestyle. You know, it's just a matter of time before Sarasota becomes this big city that we've been trying to avoid for so long, essentially. But I still feel like, you know, there's a lot of people on vacation. This is a lot of people's dream place to live. Therefore, they're gonna be happier than if they were digging up snow in their driveway. All right, and now our last 5-star review. Sarasota is a very safe community with a very little crime rate. A great place to raise a family with the schooling systems all high ranked. The beaches in Sarasota are also some of the best in America. The water is from the Gulf, so you can expect clear waters and crystal white sand. When staying in Sarasota, I recommend visiting Siesta Key Beach, the village on Siesta Key, the University Town Center Mall, downtown Sarasota, and the Ringling Museum. All of these attractions are very unique to Sarasota. Now, I'm gonna stop halfway through this review and completely agree with everything that they're saying. I mean, these are really great recommendations. The Ringling Museum, the Selby Botanical Gardens, the mall, or even the whole UTC area. You know, like I said, people don't leave the Key, but there's so much more to Sarasota than just the beaches. So these are some really great reviews. I love the UTC area with all of the shopping and dining that's down there. If you're looking to, you know, pick up some nice clothing while you're down here in Sarasota, that's a great place to go. And I did want to touch on the schooling systems. Like I said, Sarasota is ranked the #1 school district in all of Florida for schools. And that's, again, one of the main reasons why so many people are moving down here. Families are typing in, you know, the best places to put their kids into school when they want to move to Florida, and Sarasota pops up as the #1. So when you combine having one of the top ranked school districts in all of Florida with the very little crime that Sarasota really does have, and if you want to fact check me on that, I recommend checking out crimemapping.com. It's a really cool website and resource that I send to all of my clients so that they can kind of hand pick and check out what areas of Sarasota see the most crime, as it's constantly being updated weekly with specific current reporting of crime in Sarasota. So, you know, you bundle those two things together, low crime, high amenity rich, activity rich areas with some of the best schooling in Sarasota. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer for people to move here with young kids who want to relocate from a northern area or even more of an urban area than Sarasota. And then you throw in the beaches, and I mean, it's just a done deal. All right, here we go, our first 4-star review. My overall experience with Sarasota County has been positive. I appreciate the county's effort to maintain its natural beauty and provide recreational opportunities for residents and visitors alike. The beaches are stunning and the parks are well maintained. I also appreciate the county's focus on education and support for local schools. One thing I would like to see change is an increase in affordable housing options. As the county continues to grow, it's important to ensure that everyone has access to safe and affordable housing. Overall, I am grateful for my experience in Sarasota County, and I would recommend it to others. Overall, I can really agree with this review. I mean, Sarasota is struggling to get more affordable housing in Sarasota. Right now, really the only option is to kind of move further out and more inland to areas like South Venice or Northport and Port Charlotte. where a lot of people now are working in Sarasota and forced to commute to Port Charlotte 45 minutes inland for, to live. I really don't expect there to be much more affordable housing in Sarasota, especially with the fact that they keep on getting away with building more and more luxury condos and apartments and high-rise buildings and, really, really new, high-quality neighborhoods all around Sarasota. They're not really creating any room for affordable housing, unfortunately. Now here's another review. I have lived and grown up in Sarasota for almost 9 years now, and I'm about to graduate from one of the county's best public high schools. Sarasota has been a great kid-friendly environment with lots of activities to keep everyone occupied. Although Sarasota County does attract large amounts of tourism, which can be bothersome, that also means that it is constantly evolving and developing new communities, shopping centers, and leisure areas. Overall, I think Sarasota, although costly, is a great county for families with good job opportunities and a comforting sense of security. I mean, really, all of these reviews are kind of hitting the nail on the head and pretty spot on. Yes, Sarasota does have a lot of tourism, and that's causing more and more people to come here. Once they discover it, they want to stay here for long term. I mean, who blames them? And I think that that can be kind of a good thing. As Sarasota continues to grow, I think it forces the county to push more things out to its residents. All right, let's do one more 4-star review and then we'll drop down to the 3s. Sarasota is a beautiful place to be. It's lively and has lots of tourism. The downside, I would say, is the community aspect is missing at times from being so large and people always coming and going. I wish there were more events and communities to be a part of. I can kind of see both sides of this. My family comes from Nebraska, so a very small town feel, and they're always telling me stories about how the neighborhoods always came together and everyone knew everyone on the street and, their families. Whereas in Sarasota, I think the lifestyle is more of a backyard lifestyle where a lot of people have pools or lounging areas in their backyard. So they'll drive up, get their mail inside of their car, pull into their garage and head straight into the house. There's not a lot of people doing their own yard work or walking around the neighborhood like there used to be. And for that reason, there isn't as much of a sense of community here in Sarasota as there might be in other areas. But on the flip side, a lot of communities are also now seeing these amenities, these hearts of the neighborhood, where people can come together and mingle. A lot of these communities now are having activities directors where their full-time job is just to get people outside of their house and talking with one another. All right, we have 31 3-star reviews, so I'm gonna pick 3 or 4 of them that we can go over. Okay, well here's an interesting review that kind of goes against our last one there. Sarasota County is a small town where everyone knows everyone. Siesta Key, being located here and known as one of the best beaches in the United States, brings a lot to our community. The summertime and winter is filled with tourists, all searching for the worldwide known soft white sand and the extremely warm weather, perfect for summer vacations. Although our small city is quite popular throughout the nation, surprisingly, there's not that much to fulfill for entertainment. Being born and raised in this town, the friendship and connections I have made are incredibly strong and adventurous. I've made one heck of a story from Sarasota, Florida, and I wouldn't change it for the world. Now, I'm really interested to know why they put this as a 3-star review. I mean, it sounded pretty positive to me. I've got a very similar background to this reviewer. I'm also born and raised here in Sarasota. The one point that I kind of feel like I disagree on is the fact that there's not enough entertainment. I think that there's plenty of things to do in Sarasota. You just kind of have to go out and look for it. Again, I'm 23 years old. There's bars and clubs and nightlife. There's events and activities out at Lakewood Ranch or in Palmer Ranch. There's live music. You can go to Tampa for a day trip. There's sporting events going on. There's things always going on down on the beach or on the key. I can't imagine I don't understand why anyone can say that there's not enough things to do in Sarasota when I feel like there's so much more to do in Sarasota than any small town. Like I had mentioned, whenever I go to visit my family in Nebraska, there's really nothing to do. I mean, you can shuck corn and kind of walk the cornfields, but other than that, you're looking at hopefully maybe going to the public pool during the summer, and in the winter, scraping ice off your car. There's not really much to look forward to there. Here's one that I wanted to touch on. Sarasota County has both positive and negative aspects. The beaches are beautiful and there are some nice places to live. However, there are some areas that are not as nice. Additionally, there's been a lot of people moving here recently, which has led to increased traffic. Also, there are not a lot of things to do other than the tourist attractions. I'm not even going to get into the things to do because I just talked about it, but traffic is a great point. Yes, since I got my license in 2016, I have very, very, very quickly seen the rapid growth and the amount of traffic on the road in those few years that I've been driving. I remember I used to be able to go from here to Lakewood Ranch or from here to SCF, the state college here in Sarasota, which is north in Bradenton. It should take me only 30 minutes to get there, or 45 minutes to get to Tampa. But now it's probably over an hour. The traffic is becoming unbearable. And again, like I said, not that I have any hate for you northerners out there watching this, but sometimes you guys do not drive the same way us people in Florida do. And it can be a bit more aggressive, and people are a lot more of a rush, I feel like. I have this running joke in my family where if we see an aggressive driver on the road, we try and guess where they're from. And 99% of the time, it's New York and New Jersey. Sorry to say it, but it's true. All right, my final 3-star review here. I've been in this town for many years, but as of late, there has been a lot of people moving here. The roads are getting crowded, and it is harder to get around. There aren't as many mom and pop shops or things to do as there used to be. Too many houses being built and not enough infrastructure rebuilding. Yes, 100% accurate, and I agree. I think that Sarasota tries to kind of do this, put a finger on the bleeding to stop it for a little bit, but they never really can solve a problem fully until it's become a major issue. And one of those being a perfect example is the traffic and the roads. They'll create all of these buildings and all of these high-rise condos to accommodate all of these people moving here, but what does that get you? It gets you more traffic on these roads, and the roads are neglected until the very end, and then they kind of change these traffic patterns around. These major points of congestion, they'll throw in a roundabout so that things keep moving, but all it's doing is increasing confusion and accidents, especially for elderly people and tourists who don't really know where they're going regardless. So, you throw that around in the mix, and it really just isn't a good blend for anything. Another great example of this is in Palmer Ranch. What used to be a private preserve has now been totally rezoned to residential living, and it's now being completely torn down for a new neighborhood, pretty much. So now all of these people who used to live in this neighborhood next to it, who always enjoyed this green space, trees, and protected land, has now been bought out, paid for by these private builders to the county or the government, had no problem being rezoned. And so I think we're seeing a lot less of that here in Sarasota as well. A lot less green space, public area. All right, now on to the 2-star reviews, or the poor reviews. Okay, here's one. Sarasota County Public Schools are not safe, as many of the kids are not watched. I had a horrible middle school experience at Sarasota Middle School and do not recommend it to others. This was November 28th, 2022. I also can have a perspective on Sarasota Middle School, as I went there for my 3 years of middle school, and I loved it. I had a great time. Almost all of my friends that I have to this day, I met either in elementary school or in middle school. And I've talked with all of them about their experiences with Sarasota Middle or any of the schools that they've gone to, and I've never had a bad experience at Sarasota Middle School. But the thing is with schooling is it's always case dependent. Each student has a different level of attention and care that they need, and everyone is different, and everyone's experience is going to be different. And the other thing is things can change so quickly with schools from one year to the next. With a new principal or new teachers or any kind of faculty that changes, it's really tough to kind of get an idea about schools when you really want to zone into the specifics. But I think you can pretty much be rest assured that the good outweighs the bad with any kind of Sarasota County schools. Sarasota has nice beaches, however, houses here are grossly overpriced compared to jobs and what those jobs pay. The houses are no better than anywhere else, except for the ones that cost millions on the beach. Yet the average asking price in a decent area is $250,000 for a small 2-bedroom house that needs significant work and is likely next to neighbors with unmowed lawns and garbage all over the place. Makes no sense that the cost of living here is so high, yet jobs pay on average around $25,000 a year. Retirees in this county will have no service workers to take care of their needs because you can't afford to live here. Well, that goes in with the point that I said that a lot of the service workers live in Northport where it's extremely cheaper, yet they have to commute to Sarasota to work. That is a true point. I think to the point of jobs not paying enough, yet real estate being so expensive, I think the answer there is remote working. Ever since 2020, more jobs have been allowing their people to work from home or work remotely. So, you can sell your house in California for $1 million, come down to Sarasota where, the average home truly actually is $500,000 and, pay cash for it and still have $500,000 left in the bank. And, that's you can still feel like you got a good deal on a home when you look at it that way. I think a lot of these people who are comparing Sarasota are comparing it to the towns that they know, which are smaller and much less desirable. I mean, I think obviously everyone can agree that you're going to spend more money on the lifestyle. You're not buying into Sarasota for a house. You know, you're buying into it for the lifestyle that Sarasota provides. Not having to scoop up snow, not having to worry about having black ice on the roads, or, you know, being 10 minutes from a beach, or being able to swim in your pool year round. Those are the reasons why real estate is so expensive in Sarasota. The lifestyle and the opportunities that you have here. Not because of a job, because let's be honest, Sarasota does not have that big of a job opportunity. If you're going somewhere for a job opportunity, go to Tampa or St. Pete. I think our two biggest employers right now are the Sarasota Memorial Hospital and a window company based out of Sarasota. And that's it. Other than that, it's chain restaurants and the service industry. So actually, I went to look for some one-star reviews and just realized that there are 0 one-star reviews about Sarasota. Out of the 238 reviews, 125 of them were 5 stars, 77 were 4 stars, 31 were 3 stars, and 5 were 2 stars. So I mean, heck, that's gotta tell you something about Sarasota. So with that being said, if you're thinking about making the move to Sarasota and you're just looking for a little bit more information on it, give me a call, text me, or schedule a call on the link below. I'd love to help you out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.